Welcome to Stories on Sunset. Every single week, every single Sunday, I share stories of my concert journalism days out in Los Angeles that took place on Sunset Boulevard, Sunset Strip, um, all that street. And and so what I do is I raise funds for my favorite venues that are currently closed due to the pandemic. And you can find all their information below the YouTube video, such as the Rainbow Bar and Grill, the Viper Room, the Whiskey A Go Go, the Laugh Factory, the world famous Comedy Store, Book Soup, Amoeba Music, the Satellite, and the Corazon Cinema and Cafe. The Corazon is located in St. Augustine, Florida, where I used to hold my storytelling room, Confessions of the Corazon, and we made it to the 2-year anniversary, and then COVID hit, and it's been on hiatus ever since. Um, so that's all their information's on the bottom. The GoFundMe's. Go to their websites and contribute that way as well, if you can. Donate to one, to some, or to all. It's all up to you. And this is my way of trying to raise funds for my safe havens while I was out in LA. Um, so this story is about the time that I got to cover Machine Gun Kelly, MGK, if you will, at the Key Club back in on February 8th, 2012. Um, my pal at the time worked there. Her name was Lauren, and it was a day before the show. And I reached out to her, and she said, "Yeah, no problem. I'll hook you up with a ticket and a press and a photo pass and all that stuff." And that was pretty gnarly of her. Usually, I have to send out these credential requests like 2 weeks in advance, but since I'm the Sultan of the Sunset Strip, a nickname I got. Uh, she was able to hook me up with that, and which is really awesome. She hooked me up with all kinds of cool shows at the Key Club. Um, but anywho, uh, as I mentioned earlier, this story is about Machine Gun Kelly and the time that I got to see him perform, and I knew that he was gonna blow up because like you can just tell by someone performing on stage or like their music from the beginning. And to find out he was signed to Bad Boy was pretty awesome too. Um, and so I was like, I gotta find out what's the big deal with this dude. And the whole place was like sold out, and I couldn't believe it. It was like a wild show, and it really is. He really is a wild boy because like during one of his songs, um, like he brought out a inflatable raft and had uh, him and his pal, like I think his hype man, I believe, was just were in there, and the fans just helped push him from all over the place, like in the general admission area. I remember drama from like Robin Big was there too, and he made his way with the raft towards drama. And I remember drama had this big old bottle of Grey Goose with him, and it was freaking nuts. And of course, he had like the Young and Reckless like shirts with his entourage and all that good stuff. And it was quite the wild show. I never expected to see a raft out there, um, but it was pretty dope. Um, and he put on a really dope show, and it didn't surprise me, like I said, that he was gonna blow up the way that he did from like 8 years ago. The cool thing is, like there was just like live instruments on stage, and his drummer Rook was playing, and all that good stuff, and it's great to see like they're all still together. Um, and so I was really glad that he didn't rap over his lyrics too, which is great because a lot of like hip hop acts tend to rap over their lyrics, and totally I say, you know what? That's why I don't book those types of hip hop acts like on my festival because it's like you disappoint the fans. I'm just gonna say it out there, like just don't like rap over your lyrics. That's just go to open mics, practice at home, whatever, but just don't do it. Uh, it's like a comedian hacking somebody else's jokes or whatever. But anywho, I remember going to see Tech 9 down the street like a couple months later when MGK was on the Hostile Takeover tour, and after the show I showed Rick the article, and he didn't give me a response, but I'm glad he read it. But I gotta admit that article was not one of my best, and I did not discover my voice as a journalist. But I got better in due time with my articles. Um, and another interesting that happened was that I covered a show at the Roxy one time, I believe, and some lady worked for Bad Boy Records, and she was like, "I see you everywhere," and I'm like, Am I that? Do I stand out that much?" I'm like, "Yep, we're the only dude that wears Wu Tang at rock shows and other shows, and my journalism pants were all covered with Wu Tang logos." So I call them my JPs, my journalism pants, instead of my PJs, but they look like PJs. Um, but she gave me her card and told me to reach out to her, and that was pretty cool to have like someone that was actually like paying attention to me. I usually don't expect people to pay attention to me at these shows. It's usually the people that are on stage. But anywho, that's my MGK story with the raft, the awesome live instruments. If you ever get the chance to see MGK perform, definitely go. It's cool to see his career unfold from like 8 years ago, the way that it has now with all his acting and all that good stuff. But anywho, next week I'll be sharing my story of the time that I ran into Beyonce and Jay-Z at the House of Blues. That's going to be a pretty interesting story. I didn't expect that to happen at all when I lived out there. But I can't wait to share that story with you on Stories on Sunset and help raise funds for my favorite safe havens that are on the Sunset Strip. And like I usually close with all these, this is my SOS to the world. This is my message in a bottle. This one's for the police, not the LAPD, but the band. And we'll see you next week.